Fiancé, shiti mashne. Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. Shout out to Duolingo. It's the Match Me Abroad edition. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife and co-host. She's giving me a look like I've never seen before. It's the one and only Teresa.
Ahoj, ahoj. Jak se všichni máte? Duolingo.
Is there an echo in here?
Duolingo sucks if that's what you got from them.
Is there an echo in this apartment? That's exactly what I said.
You haven't been practicing your Czech. I haven't heard you in a few days, and I can tell.
I get the notification today. That's like, you've run out of streak holds, John. So you need to practice today.
I can tell because that was not good.
Well, maybe if our friend Harold hit up Duolingo, he would have had a higher success rate with Misha because, we get to watch Harold strike out one more episode, and then I think we're done. And that's about all my heart can take. So, not the most upset that this season's coming to a close because I'm depressed.
At least he doesn't have to go through a whole prenup as he was planning.
That's very true. His inventions he needs to protect, his suspender collection.
He's good.
It was hard to watch.
Well, someone needs to tell him how to slow down. And I know Katarina tried, but he didn't take her seriously, which he should have because she's the matchmaker in the Czech Republic. I know women are different everywhere, and there are women in the U.S. who would never agree to a proposal on the third date, right? But the Czechs definitely don't. We just don't rush things. We truly don't.
And as you shouldn't, I think we would have all, if she said yes, well, we'll talk about it at length when we get to their segment. But he didn't propose. He said, will you be my girlfriend? She said no. Good. Don't lie to someone. If you're not feeling like it is the real thing, don't break Harold's heart any more than it needs to be broken. So don't lead him on. But it wasn't a proposal. He at least didn't go that far yet. Well,
and I'm with Misha 100% because you cannot be someone's boyfriend or girlfriend after you meet them 3 times. That's ridiculous.
It was quick.
I'll call it. It's ridiculous.
It was quick. And here's the thing. I am contrasting that to the other option, which was him proposing on the third day, and I'm going, no, not the worst. Could have been worse.
True. And you know why I'm saying it's ridiculous? It's because they're not on the same page, and Harold cannot read the room, which it's okay.
Yeah.
But I wish he listened to Katarina, who tried to help him understand. I know that we'll see Noureddine and Stanika becoming official, right? But it doesn't bother me with them because she still keeps her head above the water, and they made themselves an official couple, official relationship, right? But still, she wants him to come to the US, see how things are, right? Like they're not saying, oh, let's be engaged and plus they were on the same page, right?
Yeah.
When Misha doesn't respond to Harold in 3 or 4 days, well, I don't think that was the time to ask her to be his girlfriend.
Yeah, I also think, and we'll talk about it at length, of course. I also think in Stanika and Nouredine's case, you need to make a definitive decision before you go back to your respective cities. Mm-hmm. And it's really, do you want to be exclusive or do you want to just call it quits? Because you can't have a long distance fling.
No, but for some reason, for them, it worked out. Like it's maybe because they both were on the same page, as I said.
I'm agreeing with you. I think they made the right move.
Yes, but back to Harold, who's basically trying to do the same thing, right? It's just Misha is not on the same page.
No, they're not even in the same book.
And he knows it, but still tries and feels defeated and blames it on the English language. Where I'm like, dude, no, it's just you guys felt something, but it wasn't it.
All right, let's hold our horses. Before we
It's hard.
It's hard to hold the horses, but we must. We have a little bit of business, real quick. We're on Patreon. We're on Supercast. marriedtoreality.supercast.com, patreon.com/marriedtoreality. We're having a fantastic time over there talking about The Other Way. The season is wild. The season's out of control. We know you're watching it. If you want to hear us talk about it, Patreon, Supercast. You can get in at the Cousins Club level for audio only. The Family Affair level, it's got it all. It's got audio. It's got video. It's got a monthly bonus. It's the VIP level. If you want the extra content, can't go wrong with either. But Family Affair level, it's got it all.
Got it all, guys.
All right. And you can get them both on Patreon or Supercast. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. We're on Threads at Married to Reality Pod. We're doing memes. A couple of pretty good ones. We're posting news and updates. And most importantly, and most fun of all, it's where you guys call in. It's our direct line. You guys can message us, and Teresa will respond. I try to respond. She slaps my wrist, and she says, no, I'm the social media president.
Exactly, and the CEO of the social media.
Look at her promoting herself.
But guys, yes, chat with us on Instagram. Chat with us on the Patreon. Usually 99% of the time you're chatting with me, unless you ask for John, and then I may or may not tell him. No, I tell him. I'll share the love with him. So come on over, guys, and follow us on Instagram.
Yes, all right. And also make sure you're just following the podcast wherever you're listening right now. It's so easy to do. You just look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as dramatic chat. Because, guys, if anyone delivered this episode, it was our boy Chad.
Dramatic Chad or drunk Chad?
Oh, I think both.
I think the drink...
DDC.
Oh, drunk dramatic Chad.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So smash like it's as hot as drunk dramatic Chad. And last but not least, if you haven't left a review, please do. You guys know we're suckers for a little love. If you leave a 5-star review and you write something, we'll read it on the podcast, the Monday podcast. We'll put your name in lights. Well, we won't do that, but we'll read it.
What John said.
We'll read it. All right. Let's do it. Enough talking about it. Let's talk about it. It's Match Me Abroad, Season 1, Episode 12. I think save the best for last. This will be second best. This is second to last. Penultimate, as they say.
Sad. But let's get into this.
Sad Chad.
Ooh. All right. Our boy Chad is about to go on a second date with Maria.
Yes.
I was just going to say because he, after dating multiple women, which he's never done before, he decided to focus on Maria and let Beba go.
He said, Maria's someone I could bring home to Ma. So I ended it with Beba so I can put all my attention on Maria. And to that, Chad, I say, you might regret that decision.
I'm also going to say this. Juan sucks. I know we always say it,
Juan
but I'm
stinks.
going to say it again. He stinks at matchmaking because he set him up for failure with these women. And it's not because there is anything wrong with them. It's because they're beautiful young women who are in school studying. They want to have fun and travel the world. Chad wants someone who can stay home with him and watch him cut grass and chat with Ma.
You missed
go
a spot.
to church.
You missed a spot. Oh, how Chad would never miss a spot. How dare I even suggest that? Sorry. Keep up the good work, honey. You're killing it.
And that's exactly what he wants. Maria, both
Lemonade's ready. Lemonade. You're right.
Yeah, but that's his idea of a relationship or a lifestyle. Both Maria and Beba, they're young. They just want to have fun. And I feel them. When I was in my mid-20s, I freaking just want to have fun. I still want to have fun. And luckily, I have you to have fun with. We travel. We do fun stuff. We're on the same page, right? Chad needs someone who's on the same page with him. And Juan just failed him.
Yeah. Chad needs someone who, no surprise, wants to go to Tennessee. Juan, I don't know why this wasn't question number one when asking these ladies, hey, do you want to go out on a date with this American? Yes, we do. Okay. Are you down to move to America? No, we're not. All right, then I guess I got to keep looking.
Or if you are down to move to America, are you down to move to rural America, Tennessee, middle of nowhere? Beautiful mountains, though.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like this question was asked. Or it was asked and they said yes for the right guy and maybe Chad wasn't the right guy.
Yes, unfortunately, but still, I think, and I hate to say it, I think it would be, maybe they would consider if he lived in a bigger city.
Perhaps. That, or maybe the deli counter hairnet was a little turnoff.
That was a freaking great idea. I wanted to go go-karting the other day with you, but then I keep questioning the whole helmet because I'm grossed out by literally everything, right? Especially post-COVID. I would probably fill the helmet with a hand sanitizer, which is probably not the best idea. So when I saw this hairnet, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I want to call the go-karting place in our town to see if they have hairnets.
When I saw the hairnet, I said, I can go for a turkey sandwich. Yeah. So, all right, they're going four-wheeling. Poor Chad. It's always raining on his dates. I don't know if that's a sign or just an Alanis Morissette song, but no bueno.
He's like, well, Juan said I should have some fun, so I hope you love mud. I love mud. In Tennessee, all we love four-wheelers and we love mud.
Back home,
I think
the
he
mud.
was like loving this rain and mud. So they stop at this like nice viewpoint and Chad is like, you're getting very muddy. Oh, a little muddy. And she wants to know if he loves Colombia, right? And Chad is like, I love it. I love the anything country. I love mud. I love cows. I love hills. I think that was the moment, and Maria was like, this is not gonna fly. This is not gonna fly for me. Because she sees where he's from. And it's just not what she wants in life, and it's okay.
If this is the highlight of your hometown, I'm staying put.
Yes, and guys, I'm not shitting on Tennessee. I actually like Tennessee. I
Love Tennessee.
Love Nashville, please. Can I go tomorrow? Love the mountains.
We're going tomorrow?
No, I wish we were going to Nashville. I said, can I go tomorrow?
Oh.
Jeez.
They said, gonna go tomorrow.
No, can I go tomorrow?
Can I come with you?
Of course you can come with me if we're going tomorrow.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of great things about Tennessee. I'm not shitting on it. But Chad's Tennessee is a different Tennessee that maybe Maria would like.
Yeah. And so Chad poses the question after stating all of the highlights. You know, it rains and there's mud and we ATV and mow the lawn. So what you think about moving? And Maria says, well, right now I'm in school. I'm studying. So I think I'm going to finish that.
And here's where I'm going to give Chad some shit.
Oh, I know exactly where.
He's like, I mean, you don't really need to finish school. Like, I make more money doing what I do, not what I studied, which I would love to know what he studied.
Yeah, probably psychology or communications.
Definitely not.
No, I mean, psychology is just what everyone studies.
Oh, is it?
Oh, if you don't know what you're going to do, you study psychology.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's coming from someone who minored in psychology and who has a father who is a psychologist. So not shitting on it.
I think it's very hard to become a psychologist. So.
Oh, that's the thing. No one actually follows through.
Oh, I see.
They're just like, I don't know, psychology?
I had to take psychology classes and it was hard. Oof, especially in English.
I never got past Psych 101, I don't think, but...
Yeah, I had to take it. It was in my curriculum.
Yeah, I found my path later.
But anyways,
yes.
I would love to know. And maybe he studied like agriculture or...
I think that's what he does now. So I think...
No, he's a UPS driver.
I thought he did something with his farm.
No,
Just
he
mows
wakes
the
up
lawn?
at 3 a.m. and he...
Oh, yeah.
Because
Delivers
we
the
saw him
packages.
in his work uniform. It was all brown. He was holding a package. There was no logo.
Yeah.
But out of all the big shipping giants, we know FedEx is purple, UPS, USPS, who cares? They keep losing my packages. And then UPS is brown.
Don't you dare talk down on the USPS. You know that's my former employee.
I know, but they need to step up their game because they lost multiple packages of mine.
Never happened when I was on the force.
I don't buy it after you told me how.
Well, I figured out my system.
Delivered.
I figured out my system. Best summer job I've ever had.
Well, that's why my packages are getting lost because they hire kids without really telling them how to deliver.
Very true. So, okay, back to Colombia. Chad throws out the idea of moving to the States. Maria says, no, I kind of got to finish my studies, but she's not throwing in the towel just yet about the idea of continuing with Chad. She says, well, I do like what's going on here. I do feel something. So let's continue to hang out.
Yes. So they got a flat tire on one of the four-wheelers. So Maria jumps behind Chad and they take off into the sunset. Yeah. And Chad is just like, this is it.
Chad goes, in the past, I probably would have a ring already. When you know, you know. This relationship needed a flat tire. Chad needed a flat tire to slow him down because his mind, even if physically he is holding back from proposing, his mind is still there. So any speed bump is going to throw him into a spiral. His mind is not pumping the brakes yet. He's just physically not proposing.
Yeah. All these people should just take their time a little bit. And I know they travel abroad to meet someone. I know that's a little faster than usual, right? But proposing or all this, come on, peeps, you just met. There needs to be a little more back and forth. Maybe visiting the other person's home, right? Before you can commit to something more serious.
And again, not even proposing. Thinking about proposing, verbalizing, saying I would normally have a ring by now. That's all bad.
That's why he had 3 failed engagements.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't a psych minor, but he needs to see a psychologist or a therapist or something because he needs to figure out what's going on in his head that's making him want to propose to someone after 2 dates.
I think he just really wants someone so bad. And he never learned. You know how people usually learn from their mistakes?
Yeah.
Well, he has not.
He does not.
Because, I'll tell you this, right? I asked you to be my boyfriend after 3 months.
You sure did.
And I was nervous asking, but the reason why I asked was that if you were banging other girls, then I would be like, well, that's cool. You do you and whoever.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to be another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know, but I would never ask you earlier than that because I wanted to get to know you and see if I want to be your girlfriend before I asked. Yes. And you weren't asking, so I'm like, well, let me just do this. But I thought like 3 months was a good time that we spent together for me to know like, okay, I want this, but I also want to know if you do want this because we were deep enough that I wanted it, but not too deep that I would be too heartbroken, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a lot of our friends listening saying, 3 months, and you guys weren't official yet? New York City, it's a little bit different.
Well, wait, you think it's too long?
I think a lot of people would say you guys were, because we were exclusive without the title.
Yeah, because we were together all the time. So I was kind of like, if you're banging someone else, that has to be like a very late night booty call.
Are you doing it when I go to the bathroom?
Exactly.
Like, when is this happening? Yeah, so I think a lot of people would go, wow, you guys were spending 4 or 5 days a week together for 3 months and you guys hadn't made it official. In New York City, I think that mindset keeps you wanting to have your options open.
It does, but also forget New York City. Like for me, I would never want to commit if I wasn't sure about it. And not that I wasn't sure, but I was like, we're getting to know each other. And I wanted to go on a trip with you because that's 24/7 with someone. And that's how I was like, if I can do this, then we can do this. If I cannot stand you after a flight, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
That was my way of thinking. But before we went on our trip to Chicago, I was thinking about it. I'm like, if things go well, I'm going to ask you to be my boyfriend unless you ask me first, which you didn't.
Well, the trip wasn't over yet, but I probably would not have.
Why not? You wanted to keep your options open, am I right?
No, because I wasn't. At that point, I was one-track mind. But I don't know. Maybe because we were older. Was I 30?
What are you talking about? I was 20. I just turned 26.
Was I 30?
No, you were 29.
But I don't know. Then for me, that seems a little infantile. Like, will you be my boyfriend? I don't know. It just seems like a high school thing. I know it's not. You kind of have to do it. I would have figured out some way to do it, but I didn't have to because
I asked you after we had some nice portillos, hot dogs. You were in a good mood. I was in a good mood. I'm like, now is the time.
Anyways, back to Chad's hotel. He's cleaning up after that 4-wheel and he's getting ready for dinner and he thinks the date was awesome. So I'm going to ignore Juan's advice to go slow and I'm just going to pedal to the metal.
Oh, chatty chat.
So-
I wish he did not, because he is about to ruin everything.
He gets to the restaurant and he's got this big block of wood or box hanging out of his back pocket. And I'm wondering, what is this?
I thought it was his hotel key. You
I
know
thought
how
it was
sometimes they put in a huge keychain so you don't steal it?
Well, that's usually when you go to the bathroom at a coffee shop. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I thought like, oh, he got nervous. His stomach was upset. He used the bathroom at the restaurant and he was bringing the key back. And it's like, TMI, Chad. But no, it was not. It was a gift for Maria.
And I don't want to shit on any gifts, but this gift,
It was better than a ring.
it was better than the ring, but well, let's just talk about it. So he gets to the restaurant, right? He should have worn a different shirt.
Okay. That was what you picked up on. I picked up on when he hugged Maria. I'm pretty sure he smelled her.
He did smell her.
Right? He was like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw
He did.
a nostril scrunch.
Yeah. You don't smell people you don't know.
Oh, don't do it in a way that's so obvious.
I know. I smell you sometimes, but you know it.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, because we can.
At least follow it up with oh, you smell nice.
Yeah.
So it's an almost like, oh, I couldn't help but smell you because your perfume smells nice. To just smell someone and
Yeah.
then not acknowledge that you smelled them is very creepy.
Don't smell people on a second date or third date.
Third day you can smell someone.
Well, but smell them in a way that they don't know they're being smelled.
Or acknowledge that you smelled them.
No, that's creepy.
If I hugged you, if I was greeting you on the third day and I hugged you, I said, oh, you smell great.
No, but if you did,
Well, don't make it audible.
you smell good. I would be like, what's wrong with you?
Don't make an audible snorting sound. No. But if you happen to be caught in the act, acknowledge it. Oh my gosh, your perfume smells. Is that a new perfume? That smells great. Otherwise, it's creepy.
Yeah, well, anyways, he did.
Anyways. Yes.
Yeah, he smelled her for sure.
Maybe Colombia is known for its cocaine. Maybe that's what he was doing in the bathroom with that
Is
big
that
key.
what Colombia is known for?
And their coffee.
Let's stick with the coffee.
Yeah, stick with the coffee. All right. Back to Chad and his gift.
Yeah, let me go back to the shirt.
Okay.
Too colorful for a dinner. Gee,
God.
that's
Please
like a
call in and give Teresa shit.
no. That's like a lunch shirt. If you go out to dinner and it's like a dark restaurant, like it's at night, like wear a white button down, like one colored shirt, right? Well, stick to one color. Keep it classy.
This weekend, Teresa and I went shopping, and I pulled out a shirt off the rack,
You're welcome.
and I said, oh, this is a nice shirt. I think I might get this. And Teresa goes, do you want to look like Chad? And I said, what? Who? And she goes, Chad. I'm like, who are you talking about? She goes, Chad from Match Me Abroad. I said, are we actually bringing reality TV into our personal life?
Oh, we sure are. Remember the other day, John texted me about
Oh, yeah.
a family friend.
Oh, yeah.
It's like some gossip, and he keeps saying the name. I don't want to say because I don't know if they listen.
Yeah, I think they do.
And I'm like, who? And John is like, well, that person did this and that. I'm like,
Let's just come up with fake names. So I said, look at Dave's new business.
yes. And I'm like, who's Dave?
And I said, Maria's Dave.
And I was like, wait, Maria's Dave from Match Me Abroad or Maria's Dave from 90 Day the Other Way?
And I
And
said-
John is like,
From our real life.
we are clearly obsessed and being fully swallowed by the reality TV we watch, because it literally took me multiple texts and explanations from John that I snapped out of the reality TV mindset. I'm like, oh, a real life peeps?
Yeah. Okay.
Wild.
So Maria and Chad are sitting there, and Chad goes, I got you something. And she opens up this box, and it's a watch. And Chad goes, I don't know if you like it or not, but I figured you could use a watch.
Yeah, I would never give someone a watch on a second or third gay date.
Unless they were late to like your previous date and it became a joke.
Yeah, but like get them like a candy watch, something funny.
Yeah.
Like because buying a watch, like you're a watch snob and you turned me into a watch snob and I love it because they're for life, right? But if you get someone, I think it says a lot. Like I gave you a watch one, but it was like this wooden watch and I engraved something and it was fun.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like a fun, cute gift I gave you 3 years in. Like giving someone a watch, on a second date is a little weird, but I'll tell you this. It's better than an engagement ring. However, he should have kept to himself that he bought mom a matching watch in a different color.
I got her the red one. I got mom the red one.
He's like, I like the silver one better, so I'm like giving it to you. But do you want to talk to my mom?
Speaking of my mom, would you like to? She wants to say hi. Just a quick FaceTime. Just what's more romantic than that? A quick FaceTime with mom? No.
She's like, no. Come
on, just say hi. I'm gonna video her. I'm gonna video her. You say hi. Show her your watch.
No.
Maria's like, it is not time to meet mom. I think Chad was feeling the whiskey a little bit.
He was feeling the whiskey because then he was like, all right, so do you like me? Do you care about me? How do you feel about me? And Maria's like,
why do you ask?
Why do you ask? And Chad is like, well, I want to be with you and I want to know if you want to be with me.
Oh, boy.
And then Maria's like, well, Chad, we have a very different lifestyle. And he's like, that's all I need to know. And he like stands up and leaves and literally starts like, fuck this, fuck that.
Yeah, they were beeping it out.
But he definitely, before he left, he finishes whiskey.
Yeah, probably his third of the evening.
And I wish that was it for him. But we saw the previews. He'll be back.
He should have called Beba. He should have snatched that watch and said, it's not your time anymore. It's Beba's time. And then called her up.
This is going to be wild. That's why it's a dramatic chat.
Dramatic drunk Chad. Yeah, he actually should have listened to Juan. Go figure. He should have listened to the stinkiest matchmaker of them all.
Also, I get the whole, you want to get some courage? You want to get some courage before your date, right? You might want to have a little drink. Don't do that. Like, don't get drunk or drunker than your date, especially when it's so new. Like, have a drink with your date. I'm serious. He was visibly drunk when she got there.
Yeah. Also, it's not the first date with her. You spent all day with her. You shouldn't be that nervous. So there's no need for the liquid courage.
Yes.
Except maybe he knew I was going to ask this big question, and so he needed that. But yeah, maybe one little shot, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll just smell something.
Yeah.
Not her.
Not your date.
Like that was not good. Like I would be mad at anyone showing up to dinner drunk. It's just bad. Like,
bad form.
If you're like hitting the club and it's 12 a.m., right? And you're meeting at a club, I'll be like, all right, you probably had a few, right? But meeting drunk for a dinner, that's a big no-no for me.
Yeah. So we saw how that ended, but Chad's going to come back for more next episode.
He sure will.
All right. I think this is a good time to take a break. When we come back, we'll head to Therese's favorite country and my second favorite country.
What's your favorite country?
America.
Ooh.
Okay. We'll be back in a second. Na zdraví! This episode is brought to you by Drizzly.
Want to know what's even easier than throwing a drink?
Should I ask Benny's sister? Or maybe Kimberly knows?
I'll tell you. Getting a drink delivered right to your doorstep with Drizzly, your go-to app for alcohol delivery.
Of course. Drizzly lets you shop local stores, compare prices, and have your favorites delivered right to your door. Drama-free.
Exactly. No cake throwing, no name calling, just a smooth and tailored shopping experience.
Drama's fun to watch, but we prefer a hassle-free experience when it comes to getting our drinks.
Absolutely. Why leave the couch when the drinks can come to you?
I agree. Just download the Drizzly app or visit drizzly.com today. That's DRIZLY.com today.
So, thank you, Drizzly, for sponsoring our podcast, and I'll have John put a link in our show notes.
You must be 21 plus, and availability varies by location.
Hey guys, Teresa's here. Time for an Obvi update, brought to you by today's sponsor, Obvi. It's been about 2 months since I started taking Obvi's Super Collagen Protein and their apple cider vinegar gummies, and it's literally become the best part of my health and wellness journey. I look forward to it every morning. 2 scoops of the Peanut Butter Cup Super Collagen Protein Powder and 2 apple cider vinegar gummies. Not only does it taste great, I feel great too! And don't worry, if you don't love peanut butter, what's wrong with you? Obvious super collagen protein comes in other delicious flavors too, like fruity cereal and caramel macchiato. All with 10 grams of collagen, 9 grams of protein, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and only 40 calories. I've also started to include Obvious Burn capsules into my regimen as well. It's the first collagen-infused fat burner formulated to curb your hunger and boost your energy, all while improving your hair, skin, and nails. What more could I ask for, guys? Now, here's the best part. Our listeners can get 25% off today with code MERIT at myobvi.com. That's myobvi.com and use promo code MERIT to get 25% off today. That's 25% off your entire order. I'll also make John put a link in the show notes. So thank you, Obvi, for sponsoring this podcast. And let Obvi help you reach your goals this summer.
Ahoy, Teresa.
Ahoy, Jonathan.
How are you?
I'm good.
sorry.
Jak se máš?
Jak se máš?
Dobře, jak se máš ty?
Dobře, děkuji.
Prosím.
Just you wait, guys. In 2 more Duolingo sessions, we'll be doing the entire podcast in Czech.
Ooh, well, you need to keep up.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk Michelle and Pavel.
Pavel.
It is the continuation of their date.
Yeah, so they got to a secret venue with the secret masks. They put them on, entered the room, and I was like thinking, what is this? Is this like one of those like themed dinners that you have to like search for clues?
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, they don't know it, but they just see some clues. They see, all right, there is a little whip. There is a little fuzzy handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
There is a free chair, an occupied chair, and a light bulb.
Oh, boy.
What would you think? What would you think if you got to a date like this?
I would think it was going to be some sexual encounter, sexual experience, maybe chocolates involved, maybe strawberries, whipped cream.
I would think that we're going to get a third person to bang.
Whoa. Well, that would have been more interesting. Because let me say this. I hate to say it, but I have to say it. Katerina stinks. I hate Katerina. I'm so over Katerina now.
No.
I'm sorry she's Czech. I don't mean to say anything bad about the Czechs. I love Czechs. I'm married to one. Katerina stinks.
No, Katerina's great because what she did was smart.
What? Wedge herself into every date now? She literally says, I don't normally go on dates, but what? Now that it's televised, you just have to show your face? Last date, you had to involve your dumb husband who stunk. Now you're involving yourself once again.
No!
Enough is enough. Let the singles go out and have a good time. They don't need a chaperone.
No. Okay, they do. They pay her money to bring them together to provide some decent matches. Michelle is leaving tomorrow. The only way for her to truly know if Pavel is worthy to stay in touch is if they ask the tough questions. Would they ask it on their own? I don't think so. Might be uncomfortable. Checks are not that straightforward. We take our time. So Katerina said, you know what? I'm going to insert myself there for a little bit and help them ask the tough questions so they don't waste their time. And it was great.
Here's the only question that Katerina needed to facilitate. Pavel, would you move to America? Michelle, would you move to Czech? Get that answer and leave. I don't need you there going, oh, where's the craziest place you ever made love? I don't know, Katerina. Unless you're going to bang them right there on that table, you could be excused.
I'll tell you this, right? Yes, I think they both should be willing to move, right? But at the same time, I think it comes down to the person and the relationship. Like, I know I was living in the US already when I met you, but I never wanted to stay here. I was always planning on going back. And then I met you and I decided that it makes more sense for us to stay in this country. I got my degree, you had your life here. It was easier and I'm happy with the decision, right? Mm-hmm. But if you told me, hey, how about we try Europe? I would be like, oh, hell yeah, I'm down.
Sure.
So it comes down to the relationship and how they feel. He needs to if they keep doing this, he needs to go and visit North Carolina, where she's from, see how life's there. Maybe he'll be like, hey, how about we try it in Czech? How do you like Prague? And she might be down or she might not. I think they just need to keep talking and try it out.
To get a authentic, 100% true answer, yes. But you can test the waters and say, hey, Pavel, would you ever consider moving to America? And if he says, no, absolutely not, move on. I don't care where the weirdest place you've ever had sex is then. It doesn't matter.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure Katarina asked him and Misha and everyone, hey, would you be willing to move abroad if you find love? And I'm sure they all said yes, because if you find a person you want to be with, then the distance out of the country, it's kind of, becomes secondary. You decide together. But they need to see if they can even be a couple. For Misha, she cannot say, oh, I'll be your girlfriend, Harold, without even knowing where he's from. You think Czechs know where New Mexico is and how the life is there?
Okay.
They don't.
Well, rewind to when you said they need to see if they can be a couple. How are you going to see if you can be a couple when you got a third wheel sitting there that goes by the name Katerina?
For 10 minutes!
For the whole date. Literally, Katerina rings a dumb bell, stands up and leaves, and then Michelle's like, well, had a great time. I wish I didn't have to leave tomorrow. It's like, yeah, we just spent the last hour that we had together with a babysitter.
Oh, well, I think it was trimmed. I think Katarina was there for a little bit to facilitate the sex talk. And it's good because Michelle says, I love guys who are open or can talk about sex. And Pavel says, I love it. She's very American, very, very open-minded. I'm not used to it because Czech people are not as straightforward. They might be on the inside, but it takes them time to open up, right? And so they both heard something about each other that they liked that maybe they wouldn't have find out on a day just the two of them.
All right.
I would agree with you.
If she wasn't Czech.
No. If Michelle still had a week in Czech and would have the time to actually get to know Pavel on her own a little deeper, I would be like, why are you here on the first date, right?
See, I think I would...
This was the first and the last date.
I would feel the opposite. I would be like, all right, cool. First date, break the ice, have her there because there'll be a second date without her. When there's only one date... Make it real, make it authentic, give them a chance to be themselves without a chaperone.
I loved it.
Call in. I want to hear what you guys have to say.
I loved it because it made sense. If it didn't make sense, if she was just having dinner with them, that would be like, well, come on, they can do it together. But she was there on a mission.
Okay.
She was on a mission.
Yeah, to get more screen time.
Oh, that's not true.
Then why did she bring her husband? That started my irritation with her. It's like, really, you got to get your husband on TV too?
Well, I'm glad to see who she's married to. Didn't expect a foreigner.
True.
So, listen, I'm loving all this. I'm loving to learn a little more about Katarina. And I did think that this was good because they both opened up way faster than they would have.
All right.
I'm telling you. Even Pavel said it. He's like, well, oh, wow, like she's so open and I like this. He would not ask any of these questions.
Yeah, they're unnecessary for a first date, to be honest.
No, they're
unnecessary
important
to know. Is there anything sexual that you wouldn't do? That's a lot for a first date.
It is, but at the same time, they're in their 30s. There's no time to waste. If they want to have kids, you gotta figure things out. And if, let's say, Michelle says, well, I have a high libido, I want sex all the time, and Pavel says, well, I like to bang twice a year, boom, moving on.
Sure, but again, not necessarily first date questions. They're fine on a first date, but that's not really what I need to know if I'm trying to figure out, is there going to be a second date?
But this is a first date in the Czech Republic where she's flying back home tomorrow. I think that was the right time to do this. The crazy, crazy day, because it's like, all right, well, you're not going to get a second chance anytime soon unless he comes to visit you. So how about we see if he's even worth it, your time to go and visit you. And the same for Pavel.
All right. Well, I hope there's follow-up next episode. I forget if there was from the previews, but long story long, they end up saying goodbye, but Pavel offers to drive Michelle to the airport.
Yeah, and there will be a follow-up. Pavel is going to have a question in the car.
Oh, next episode?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Pavel really likes her.
Oh, you're right.
So I'm here for it.
All right. I am too.
And they're on the same page because Pavel opened up and said, hey, I got very lonely during COVID and I realized that I don't want to feel this way anymore. So I couldn't find a match. So that's why I went to Katarina. And she's like, I totally agree. Like, this is something very, I hate to use the word because I can pronounce it well. But
vulnerable.
it's a very vulnerable thing to say that I don't think Pavel would ever say on a first date. But he did say it, and Michelle did like it because he became real.
Okay.
It's like, this is why this person is doing it. He doesn't do it to get 1,000 Instagram followers. He doesn't do it to be promoting fat losing tea on Instagram. Like, he does it because he wants love.
Shout out to Fitbod. Okay. Well, then here's what I would say I would have appreciated more. Take a page out of maths and have just some unknown third entity knock on the door, drop off a fishbowl full of questions, and pull out the question and answer it. I don't need Katarina there. In fact, I would probably be more open and vulnerable if Katarina wasn't there. So just give me the fishbowl, give me the questions, and let me take it from there.
It's all or nothing. And I hate the fishbowls. It's the worst part about maths.
Fishbowl.
Well, fish balls. I hate the fish balls. Love fish, hate the fish balls on maths.
Okay, but so you would rather
Absolutely.
You'd rather Dr. Pepper sit there and ask the questions?
Absolutely. She's getting paid for nothing.
Well, that's true.
So yeah, I want DP to sit down with them. I want PC.
She doesn't even sit down with her own husband to ask these questions. Now you want her to ask these people?
Enough with those stupid fish balls.
All right. Well,
Katarina knows what's up.
this is one of the bigger disagreements we've had in this podcast, but it was bound to happen. Let's move on.
You want to go to Morocco?
Absolutely.
Let's go to Morocco.
Let's talk about Stanika, who is having some success, unlike our other Moroccan friend, Mark, who we'll get to. But Stanika, we pick up, she's on her date with Noureddine. It's her last day there. It's her last chance to really make a connection and find out if it's the real thing she's got with Noureddine.
Yeah, and Noureddine says, all right, so mom approved. So let's move to the serious question. Let's move to the next step. Do you want to be official?
Ooh.
And I love that he asked that and not, oh, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Absolutely. And that's, I'm still thinking about Chicago and you asking me and me saying, I don't know, it seems immature to be boyfriend, girlfriend. But yeah, do you want to make it official? Yeah. Are we done seeing other people? Yeah. I liked how he asked. Should we make things official?
Wait, so you didn't like me asking to be your girlfriend?
I loved it. It's adorable. It's a great story. I think you said something too. You're like, I don't know.
I'm foreign.
I'm foreign. Do people ask each other to be boyfriend or something? You couched it in like, I'm a foreigner. I don't know how it's done over here.
Oh, yeah.
No, I loved every minute of it.
I planned it.
I loved every minute of it. Yeah, you do use that foreign ignorance to your advantage once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I used to. Not anymore.
It gets harder and harder every year.
Yeah, because I'm like losing the Czech accent. I'm like sounding like I'm from Wisconsin.
Anyways, so Noureddine says, should we make things official? Take this as an offer. And Stanika gulps her wine down and sits in silence. And I did not know which way this was going to go. So Noureddine asks again. And finally, Stanika says, yeah, we can go to the next step.
She said yes. She was excited. She's like, woohoo, my first boyfriend ever.
Okay. I think it was nervous excitement, a little hesitancy. She's never done this before, so it's all new to her.
Yeah, but I like that Noureddine was like, all right, my next step, I want to come and visit you. I want to meet your family and see how things are. And then when you come back, well, we need to test our private life. You have to share bed. I know how to make ladies happy.
Well, before that, Noureddine said, I would love to kiss you. And Stanika says, ooh, well, even though we haven't kissed yet, I know we'll have great physical chemistry. She kind of pumps the brakes. She doesn't allow the kiss to happen.
I was surprised.
And here's why. If you're not ready to kiss someone, I don't think you're ready to be official. I don't think you're ready to be boyfriend and girlfriend.
I agree.
If you're not going to kiss the person.
I agree. If he asked her to bang, then I would be like, all right, pump the brakes.
Even, completely different story.
Yeah.
Even, I don't want to make out. Okay, maybe you don't want to make out on camera, or maybe you're just not ready to get that intimate. But a little boop.
A little boop.
A little boop. You're going to say, yes, let's be official. Yes, boyfriend, girlfriend, but you're not going to boop?
Yeah.
To me, that's...
You got to boop.
To me, that's where I saw real hesitancy and lack of seriousness with Stanika.
I think Stanika is just overwhelmed. And as she said, this is the first time she's doing this, right? So I think she's just nervous. I hope there will be a boop before she goes.
And maybe we don't know this, is Stanika a virgin?
I don't know.
Because obviously you can bang outside of a relationship. We know she's never had a relationship before. But I don't know how slow is she taking this because it's very new to her, or how slow is she just taking it because is she not into it? Is she not as into it as?
I don't know.
So I don't know either. There was no kiss. There was no, I would assume, lovemaking.
No, as far as we know.
At this time. But Noureddine basically says, well, when it's time, you'll be happy. I know how to make a lady happy.
Oh, Noureddine.
Oh,
Dirty Noureddine.
Say less.
DN.
Say less. Dirty Noureddine. All right. But hey, so far, so good with those two.
So far, so successful.
So far, somewhat successful.
All right. Well, not so successful. Same country, different person. We're talking about Mark, who's meeting Nina to tell her that Nina does not have 100% success rate anymore.
Poor Nina. Yeah.
Wow.
If I was Nina, well, we'll get to it. Mark still hasn't heard from Huda. So
yes.
he's filling Nina in on it. And he tells her, I was prepared. I was prepared to tell Huda she was the one. I was done dating around. We were going to be exclusive. I was going to ask her to be my girlfriend. All the things that John says are immature, which I now regret and wish I didn't say that. But I was about to do it. But she didn't show.
Well, Nina says that she thinks that because Huda gave him an ultimatum, but he didn't respond to that immediately, then Huda just thought, all right, he's going to be dating, and now he wants to see me after his date.
Yeah.
So that's why she was done.
Yeah. Mark started to cry, which I did not expect. His nose was running. Like, he was really hurt by this.
He was. I felt bad for Mark, but I think Mark has a thing for Nina.
Well, here's what I was going to say. Nina had to give up her title of 100% success rate. But Mark was like, well, maybe if I text you, will you respond? Right? Like, and she's like, if it's all about business. Well, speaking of business, Nina, I think you should have just banged Mark to keep your 100% success rate.
Well, not even bang, just get a coffee or get a boop.
If you dated Mark just once, you could have kept your 100% success rate because that would have been a successful match.
And then Mark tells the cameras, he's like, well, I guess I was thinking I'm going to come to Morocco and find someone born in America.
Oh.
Wink, wink. No. That was Nina, right? No. But he's like, maybe I probably need to find someone in the U.S. because I like the lifestyle. I like what we do over there. And I'm just going to keep trying. And I felt bad.
He was really hurt. Like,
he was.
I know there's not much love for Mark, I don't think, on the internets, but
why not? He's cool.
Yeah, I've got nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, he's like a normal dude.
He's a very normal dude, but I think he really put himself out there.
Yeah, I think he'll get a DM or two for sure.
I think so.
Yeah,
and let's see.
DM Mark, ladies, if you're single and you like what you see. A little ad for Mark.
Sure, a little ad for Mark.
Yeah, I really felt bad.
Mark's a friend of the pod. Shout out if he's still listening.
Yeah, he didn't give up on us.
Episode 1, he had kind things to say about us. And that's not the only reason we have kind things to say about him.
No, I truly felt bad.
We judge what we see on TV, and on TV, he seemed like a swell guy.
Yeah. I also think that Nina should have set him up with someone more age appropriate for him, meaning someone who wants the same things and someone who's not going to get offended by, oh, you're going on another date, but that's why he's there.
Yeah.
Like, he's there to date. If you get offended by it, that you're not the one for him.
And he verbalized, I would like someone more mature.
Yeah.
For once, we don't have a guy in their 40s being like, I want a 20-year-old. He was
Yeah.
like, no, I want someone age appropriate. And Nina was like, well, how about this 24-year-old?
She runs a pajamas business, or no?
Yeah, a robe.
A robe business, so she's successful and she's very mature. Well, she wasn't.
Yeah.
So she couldn't take the fact that he might go on another date.
Yeah.
How about you look at it as like, all right, go on another date, and if he comes back to me, it means that there is something.
Yeah, the most 20-year-old thing you can do is ghost someone.
Yeah.
And that's what Huda did.
Damn millennials.
And that's why Mark's like, can I get a 30-year-old around here?
30 plus?
Can I get 30 plus? We should be applauding Mark looking for someone age appropriate.
For sure.
And instead Nina's like, have you met this TikToker?
Guys, keep sliding.
Keep sliding. All right. Do we have
We have one more.
save the best for last? Save the
Save the-
saddest for last?
We're talking about our boy Harold. And before we do, let me clarify something. A lot of you guys messaged us.
Oh yeah, a lot of you guys.
A lot of you guys messaged us.
If it ends up on my radar, it means multiple people have called in because Teresa doesn't usually let me see the old.
What are you talking
the
about?
old-
You're lurking in the background all the
the
time.
old-
You're always like, oh, did you see? I'm like, of course I did see.
But
anyways.
yeah, several of you guys called in, and finally it came across my radar.
So several of you called in saying that we butchered or we got confused and we confused Misha with Harold with Misha from Help Me. Which way?
Nicola.
Well, which way is it?
Oh, before the 90.
Okay, thank you. A lot is happening. Well, the reason why we call her Misha is because that's how she introduced herself the first time we met her. And to give you a little background, I'd like to call this Czech Names the segment.
Oh, hello. New segment alert.
In Czech, we barely ever go by our given names. For some reason, 99% of names have nicknames that we use. So no one ever calls me Teresa in Czech unless my parents are like pissed at me, like, Teresa, come over here. So I told this to some of you, but it took me a while to get used to it because whenever someone called me Teresa when I moved here, I always had this feeling that I did something wrong. And it lasted for years. To the point that now I'm happy with it. I like my name. But in Czech, I'm Terka, Tereska, Teres, right? My mom's real name is Ivana. No one calls her Ivana. It's like Ivcha, Ivi, Ivush, right? My cousin's name is Radka. No one calls her Radka. It's Radushka, Radi, Radush.
And for those on the Patreon, we're posting the family tree so you can follow along at home.
Yeah, I have multiple friends whose name is Michaela, as this Michaela. Never call them that in my freaking life. No one ever does. It's Misha, Mishi, Michelle, sometimes a little Americanized way, right? No one calls, we don't call each other the real names. Let's just be honest. Unless it's like a professional business. Like Mrs., when you go to the bank, they call your number. Like Mrs. Teresa, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even do that. They just say the last name. No one calls me Teresa. So we call her Misha because that's what she's being called in Czech, and that's her preferred nickname. As she told us once, Harold ignored that, which is okay, not used to it, and she probably didn't clarify. But guys, we're not wrong. We are correct, and we are talking about this specific Misha, not Misha and Ricola.
All right. Are you going to come down off your soapbox now?
What?
Come on down.
What are you talking about? It was my Czech Names the segment.
Got it. New segment. Don't get used to it.
You don't even go by your real name. You go by John. Are you Czech? A little bit.
A little bit.
You're Jonathan. No one calls you Jonathan.
All right.
I
Here
do
we-
sometimes for fun.
Here we go. Harold and Misha.
Yes. Oof.
All right.
Very passionate
They're-
about anything Czech.
they're at
Ask
the-
me more.
Exactly, Katerina. Very much. So they're at the restaurant that they were at last episode, and oh, Harold, he's got an important question he needs to ask. Well, it wasn't much of a question. It was more of a declaration when he said, I'd like for you to be my girlfriend.
And Misha's like, oh my God, Harold, I can't be your girlfriend. It's too quick for me.
I love you doing a Czech accent. I can tell when she's doing a Czech accent. It's like, Teresa, you can just talk normally. You have a Czech
No,
accent. You do Misha every time you open your mouth.
That's not true. I've been working on my R's and W's for years. So
For some reason, I find it more offensive when you do a Czech accent because you're like, what are you doing?
what
Like,
are you talking about? Guys, I know I still have an accent and I still sound very
but
foreign.
in her head, she does not. So she has to put on an accent when she does other Czech people.
As an example, right? Now the new me says Harold. The old me would say Harold, like Misha, right? Or
This is, guys,
I would say, I can't be your girlfriend. She said, I cannot be your girlfriend because that's how I talked 13 years ago, right?
if you guys have a hearing appointment coming up, cancel it if you can hear the difference between those two sentences.
You cannot? Someone's starving tonight. Tell me that you can.
Oh, yes. Very good.
Can you?
But yes.
Well, you picked up on it, so of course you can.
Quite the difference.
No, don't tell me that I'm wrong here. Don't tell me that I cannot do accents.
Okay, let's do it again. That was beautiful. So Harold says, I have a question. I'd like for you to be my girlfriend. And Misha says,
Misha says, oh my God, I can't be your girlfriend. This is too quick for me. That's pretty good, right? This is how I sound. This is me 13 years ago. I'm not joking. I'm not making fun of her. It's just when you learn English in the Czech Republic and you don't have a native speaker teaching you, well, this is what happens. I am a great example, and I had to work very hard to keep the accent, but make it a little milder.
All
Am I
right.
right?
So,
Am I right?
Yes. So we all know what Misha says, and Harold tells the camera, ultimately, I decided not to propose to Michaela because I wanted to test the waters. But I'm shocked she said no to being my girlfriend.
Ooh, too fast.
Well, but again, good on Harold for not going all the way and just testing the waters.
Wait for it.
Well, Misha goes, I need to know a man more than 1 week. And then Harold blames the language barrier.
I hated it because
I did not like this one bit.
No, because she understands what being a girlfriend means, right? Harold, she says it's too quick because guess what? It's too quick. It's not because she's Czech. It's because it's too quick.
But that's not exactly what he was saying. He wasn't saying she doesn't understand the terminology. He was saying she doesn't understand my love for her. He goes, she understands that I like her, but she doesn't understand that I already love her.
Well, but that's not a language barrier. That's just Harold trying to give her a hand, and she's clearly either not picking up on them, or she is, but she's too scared because it's too quick.
Yeah.
She's not a moron. Like, she can tell that he likes her. He's been texting her and calling her all the time. He showed up in her hometown.
Yeah, and also, you didn't ask. You declared that you would like her to be your girlfriend. I don't think you would do that if you didn't like her. So she knows, Harold. She gets the idea. And I think she feels so bad rejecting him because then she spends the rest of the date trying to be like so overly nice, saying, you know, without you, I would just be eating eggs and bread alone tonight. So I'm so glad that we're here. It's like, breaks my heart.
Well, here is why I was like, I wish Harold listened to Katarina, because his plan was to come, sleep over,
maybe more than once,
make love, because they would be celebrating being engaged.
True.
Right? So he's like, well, I guess I should get a hotel because I thought I'm going to spend the night with you, but that's not going to happen. Of course not. I would never let a stranger sleep in my home.
But again, we are reacting. I think we forget that Harold is autistic. And so he does have a harder time reading the room.
I understand. I'm not giving him shit for that. I'm giving him shit for when someone's trying to help him understand and maybe tell him, hey, maybe slow down. Let's take it easy, right?
But I think it all goes back to that.
I think so too. I do.
Which good on Harold, because we do easily forget it. Because Harold does move through
True.
life. I'll say, I think, very well.
Yeah,
and so
does.
good on Harold that we are reacting as we would react to anyone.
True. But still, he going to visit someone and assume that you'll sleep with them in their house. Don't assume anything unless you plan this, which they didn't because she wasn't responding to him. Don't think that he literally went there not even knowing she's gonna wait for him because she wasn't talking to him for days. So just going there with that in mind without even a hotel reservation.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That's really a manners thing of like, oh, I'm just assuming you're gonna let me stay with you. And Misha's like, well, my flat's a mess, but we could see each other tomorrow if you want.
She's like, there's a hotel 5 minutes or 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah, if you want to get in the car right now, I'll drop you off.
Yeah. If Harold came to visit her but had a hotel already, I'll be like, all right.
He was going for it.
He was going for it, but still thought of the important stuff, like, where am I going to sleep tonight?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Harold still is thinking of going for it, he says.
Oh, boy.
Next episode, he might, the grand gesture might be back.
He might just scare her off because I don't think she's done talking to him. I just think she needs more time.
Well, here's the deal. I think I said it at the top of the show. I don't know. We've talked a lot this episode. But with a long distance relationship, I don't think you can just end on let's see what happens, which is, I think, how Misha would end things. I think you need to solidify where you stand. So you either need a yes, we're going to keep going as boyfriend, girlfriend, or at least as we're dating, or not. There's no such thing as an international fling or an international fling that continues.
No, but there is no relationship. But there can be friendship, and friendship can turn into a relationship.
True.
They just need to, they both seem like people who overthink, right? Which is fine. I do too. But they need to pause on Harold's end. And for Misha, they just need to try and be friends and see how things are. I'm glad she said no to being a girlfriend because that's not what she felt like. Would you say yes? And then when he leaves, you're going to text him that you change your mind? That's horrible.
Way worse.
But she's not saying, oh, I don't want to be your girlfriend. I'm done with you. Bye. She's like, yeah, let's hang tomorrow. Let's see how things are. And maybe if they stay in touch and communicate well, who knows? But she approached it well. I'm glad she did. And as you said, Harold is not done. So she may be down with him forever if he totally scares her off, but we'll see.
I'm very excited for this.
Oh, me too.
I'm very sad because it's the final.
I know.
But I'm very excited because it's gonna get very, very interesting.
Oh yeah.
All right. That is the episode 12 in the books. Thanks for hanging out with us, we hope you guys enjoyed the show and the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed it all. If you want more, we're on Patreon. We're on Supercast. Check it out. Patreon.com/marriedtoreality, marriedtoreality.supercast.com. Talking the other way over there. So come on over for more fun. We just found out we'll not be posting Therese's family tree. They apparently don't do those in the Czech Republic.
We do.
They do family stromies.
Yeah, family strom. One.
Family stroms. So look at me.
Just one.
Look at me doing Czech, all right? So
how big of a strom?
It'd probably be your family. Molly Strom.
Probably.
Yeah, Molly Strom. Okay. If you had a Catholic family, Velky Strom.
Yes.
But
look at you.
Yeah. So never say never, guys. You too can learn Czech. All right. Instagram @MarriedToRealityPod, Patreon, Supercast. You guys know, smash that follow button. And if you haven't left a review, please do.
Yeah, smash it like it's as hot as Jones Czech.
Woo! Thank you, Theresa.
Nice save at the end.
Thank you. All right. That is it. I've said it all in English and more than enough in Czech.
I've said it all too, and you need to learn more Czech.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.